Okay, and we are live on YouTube. Black Catch Chat with the Crystal Palace preview. Today we've got Dermot in Madrid and Robin in Prague in the Czech Republic. Dermot, how are you, mate?
All right, very good. Looking forward to this game. Exciting times at the SAFC. So yeah, we've got a big Premier League away match at Crystal Palace. Let's see what happens.
All right, and Robin, you're in the Prague. It looks quite sunny there from your window. How are you, mate?
Yeah, it is. Well, sunny, not too warm. It's only about 20 degrees or so, but better than rain. So, yeah, likewise, looking forward to this afternoon, hoping for the first away win of the season.
Aye, well, we are looking forward because we've had 3 matches, 2 wins and 1 defeat. Dermot, the team news is out then. There's Robin Roofs in goal, Trey Hume right back, Mukiele and Alderete centre backs, Reynildo left back, Diarra, Xhaka and Sadiq in the midfield 3, Talbi on the right wing. Simon Edingra comes back in on the left because Enzo Lafay apparently has picked up an injury in training. There was a rumour early this morning about a twisted knee or something like that. So Lafay is out of the squad today and Isidore starts up front. Happy with that?
Yeah, he's got to shuffle his pack a bit. Isidore coming in because he scored 2 goals. So you've got to give him a start. Mayenda dropping to the bench. Simon Adingra coming in for Lafay. Lafay will be a big miss because I think we all know he's got a bit of quality and class about him that he showed in the last game. So that's a shame about that. But yeah, we've got a squad, haven't we? We've got a strong bench and people to come on. We've got Mayenda to come on and Brian Robbie, if that's how we're pronouncing it, possibly coming on if we need goals. So, you know, we've bought a squad in the summer and we're still learning bits about them. We're learning how to pronounce their names and we're learning what they're like on the pitch. So, yeah, he's got 3 forwards up top to play about with, but he's starting to tinker a bit today by putting Wilson Isidore in, but I think that's an interesting one. I think Isidore has been good coming off the bench to get 2 goals. But likewise, Mayenda can do the same today and get the last 15, 20 minutes. Very important for a fast player like Mayenda to come on as well and fight till the end, which is what we've been getting good at in recent months. Played till the 94th, 95th, 96th minute. So yeah, plenty there to be excited about, I'd say.
Aye, and well, on about pronunciation of names, on the bench we've got Lucharel Geertruida is the pronunciation that Bastian, the Dutch guy, told me that it's where they pronounce it. So it's
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, Lucharel Geertruida.
Right.
Because he told me that the Dutch G is like the Spanish J, the Jota that we have in Spain. So yeah, so obviously we've got him on the bench. We've got Anthony Patterson, Dan Neil, Brian Broby, Chris Rigg, Eliza Mayenda, Bertrand Traore, Masuaku, Harrison Jones. Okay, so Robin, we've had 16 players away on international duty the last 2 weeks. Do you think that'll have any kind of impact on the way we perform today? Because we have got a pretty new squad.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. And when did we last have 16 players away on international duty? I don't think ever been known in my lifetime. So, you know, it's a great position to be in. I think you know, we've got on paper a very, very strong squad, and looking at the bench, you know, if some of the guys are tired from the international duty, then we can change it around. And I think certainly one of the things that I've been most impressed with in the first 3 games is the way that the coaching staff have read the games, the way games have been going, and not being frightened to change it up. So, you know, if you can use the bench to good effect like we have in previous games, then, you know, I think that's brilliant.
Yeah. On the topic of the strikers then, are you surprised that Wilson is starting over Mayenda and Broby? Or do you think he, as Dermot said, he deserves it?
I think, you know, coming off the bench and scoring 2 goals, he's certainly put himself in a strong position to be picked. You know, it's a toss-up. I think the 2 different players, Mayenda and Isidore, they play slightly different games. I think, you know, my view away from home would probably be a little bit more cautious. We'll probably soak up pressure and try and hit them a little bit more on the break. Where if we're playing at home, maybe he'd be inclined to start Mayenda and keep Isidore to come off the bench. But no, I'm pleased that Isidore's getting a start. I like him. Great deal of pace, but seems to prefer the ball. Cutting in from the side, but it looks like he's going to be playing down the middle today, which will be a little bit different to what he's done in the games when he's come on as sub as well. So great that he's got a start, and looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, Dermot. Probably our biggest signing this season is Granit Xhaka. Is he the captain or the leader that we've longed for Sunderland for years and years?
I think he's been great in those first couple of games. Certainly, he's running all over the pitch, telling everyone what to do. He's telling the referee what to do. He's a leader, isn't he? He's captain of his country. He's been around at the top of the game, and I've been very impressed. Was there some statistic the other day? I didn't quite hear it. I was listening to radio Newcastle. Has he had the most touches in a Premier League match for us in the history? Was that the last game against Brentford?
Did anyone hear that? There was something like that. Yeah, I heard it was like a very high statistic of him being number one.
I think that was it. He's already, stamped his, his name on our club by, we've played in the Premier League for quite a few years. We've had some good players, but he's got, he's involved in everything. Everything pivots around him. He's the quarterback in the centre of the pitch. He's the fella who's making the short passes, making the odd long pass as well. He's doing the running. He's getting back and defending. Everything is pivoting around him, and the two other midfielders are two little workhorses, aren't they? That are doing all his running. I mean, he's 32. He's a clever player. He plays in the middle, and he's obviously doing a lot of running. But the other two are absolute whirling dervishes. So they're Siddiqui and who's the other fella? Diarra are doing so much running. I'm impressed with the both of them as well. So that's a very strong midfield that they've got out today and that they've had out in the first three games. That's not going to change until someone gets injured or suspended or we start having bad displays, and they haven't had bad displays yet. But on the forward line as well, I think it's worth mentioning that, and you mentioned it there as well before, that Mayenda and Isidore are different players. Isidore can come in from the left, Mayenda can come in from the right. I think they both give us options there. Mayenda played for the Spain under-21s on the right wing the other week, I saw. Mm-hmm. And apparently he was quite good. And I think everything I've heard about this Brian Broby coming on potentially today is that he holds the ball up and does everything that Isidore and Mayenda possibly don't do. So Isidore and Mayenda getting on the end of things and scoring goals, and Isidore's, he's got a very elegant way of taking his chances and scoring goals, but he doesn't hold it up and he doesn't give us, anything like that. And I think this Brian Broby can come on and give us something completely different as well. So it'd be interesting to see if he comes on today and does that. Mayenda has struggled really to keep the ball, hold the ball. He's had very few touches. He's a good player, but he's young and he needs help. And I think I've got a lot of expectations in Brian Broby coming on and being a physical, strong forward that we might possibly need as well in the games to come, maybe even today. Yeah.
And on that point, Robin, I mean, Palace have played 3 games as well, just like us. They've had 2 draws and 1 defeat. And an interesting stat about them is that in every match they've played, they've always had lower possession than the opposition. So they drew against Chelsea away 0-0, 29% possession they had. They played Forest at home 1-1, 42% possession. And the last game they beat Villa away 3-0, 42% possession. So it does seem that they're a very similar playing side to us, aren't they? That they will like to sit back and then hit teams on the counter. Could that work against us today? But possibly, because our style of play is basically to have as less possession as possible and then hit teams on the counter. We saw
Yeah.
that against Brentford, didn't that? We did struggle a little bit.
Yeah, very interesting statistic. I didn't realise that about Palace, but it'll be interesting to see how it does pan out today. If they, I can't see them at home against us sitting back and letting us come at them. I'm expecting them to be dominant today and probably 60-40 in terms of possession, at least in their favour. That's what I would have expected until I'd heard that statistic. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, Dermot, no statistics, I would have gone for Brian Brobby at the start because, as you mentioned, he's good at holding the ball up. And I think if we're going to have more possession, we're going to be getting into those positions where we're going to be passing from left to right. And with Isidore and Mayenda, we don't really have that option of playing to their feet because they don't really like the ball to feet. But with Brobby, he does. So, I don't know.
Well,
I can see... Go on.
That's what we've heard. But, I mean, he's just through the door as well, isn't he? So, I mean, you've got to kind of... if you can, you've got to ease people in. And Wilson, as he does, scored 2 goals and proven himself. And, he's on a bit of a run. He's just had a kid. He was very happy the last game, wasn't he, when he did that? He hasn't been on international duty either. I think you got to give Wilson a chance. And yeah, what you said about Palace, I mean, they're a well-established Premier League team who team that we need to be, going up and being competitive with, because there's only 2 scenarios this season. We're going to struggle at the bottom, or we're going to get into that middle pack where Palace are going to be and compete with the likes of Palace and Bournemouth and Fulham and all the teams who is going to be above that relegation battle. I mean, there is no other scenario really. I don't think we're going to be in the top 8, top 10 would be amazing. So this is a massive test away at Palace. Good, solid, experienced Premier League team who may surrender possession. That's what we do as well, isn't it? We try and surrender possession. That's been our kind of tactic up to now. I was at the Burnley game and we seemed to have a lot of possession and did nothing with it. Hardly created anything. So yeah, it's see what happens. See what happens. It's a good test.
Yeah. I mean, Robin, Palace haven't lost a game for the last 14. I think they're unbeaten in 14. They've beaten Man City in the FA Cup final, Liverpool in the Community Shield. So I think today is going to be our biggest test, isn't it?
Yeah, I saw that. The 14 games unbeaten, stretching at the back end of last season, and obviously the cups and Charity Shield, and yeah, it will be a big test. But I think looking at the side, the back 4, I think very, very strong. Hume, and fantastic defender. From what I've seen of Alderete, he just looks immense. And Mukiele, came on as sub, didn't he? His first game, and then started the last game, and he looks very solid. Keeper just exudes confidence for me as well, and I think that's breeding confidence throughout the rest of the team. The way he commands his box, very confident with his distribution as well. And Ronaldo going forward looks very good as well. So, I think sitting in and breaking, I think is where we're going to got the best chance of undoing Palace. And I think we're well set up to do that today. Distribution from the back, both from the keeper and Alderete, I think is going to be good as well. So very, very strong. And I'm blown away with the way the side have kind of gelled together in such a short space of time. I think credit to the coaching staff, the way they've set them up and brought them on.
Yeah.
So,
what do you make of Régis Lebris's performance so far, Robin? Because obviously at the end of towards the end of last season, with the defeats that we had, some people were kind of a bit critical, but obviously he basically put egg in our face, didn't he, when they won the playoffs. This season, he just seems to be the same old Régis Lebris. I think his message is always the same, isn't it? It's always very consistent, and it's basically about connection. He doesn't give too much away, and I think that helps the players, doesn't it, to hear the same message rather than so many different things.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I was as critical, not of him, but just the way we went into the playoffs. You weren't confident going into the playoffs, but boy, did they prove us wrong. And like I said earlier, I just think I didn't think they really had the ability to change things up tactically, but I think right through the playoffs we did it, and certainly the first few games of this season. The getting to half time, we've two of the games we've come out different sides in the second half to what we went in at half time, and that's down to the coaching staff and the way they've changed things up. I think they're looking to see what the opposition are doing against us, and then they're going out to either better what they're doing or at least match them. And I think it's happened in two of the games, and we've won both of the games where they've done that.
Yeah. Dermot, I know that you love Régis Lebris. So come on then, tell us your opinion of him.
Well, he hasn't put a foot wrong yet. I mean, I can't believe people would still hark back to those 6 games at the end of the season where, we've talked about it loads of times. We knew where we were going. We were going to be in 4th position in the league, and that was it. And they took the foot off the pedal, and we lost a few games. But the stick he got then, I just thought was amazing because he had us positioned in the playoffs and ready to go, and then we went up. I think he's very tactically clever fella, tactically astute. I think at the beginning of last season and the middle of last season, he wasn't using his bench because he just didn't have a bench to use. He had players on the bench who are no longer at the club. He had players like Barr and Ashish on the bench that he just didn't want because he didn't think they were up to the championship. But slowly we've built a squad where we've got players on the bench now who can make a difference, and he is changing the team around. And he, in the last game, we won that because he was able to bring Wilson Isidore on. We won that because he brought Enzo Lafay into the team. At the beginning of the season, we thought it's crazy that Enzo Lafay's not starting, but he was correct about that as well because we got off to a great start against West Ham with a lot of new faces. So I don't think he's put a foot wrong apart from losing, those games at the end of last season. He had us at the top of the table this time last year, and we dropped down. We just weren't able to battle right exactly on the level of Leeds and Burnley. I always thought we were better than Sheffield United, and throughout the season, a couple of times we played them, we were better than them, and he proved that in the final. So, yeah, he hasn't put a foot wrong yet. I'd hate to think he'd be under any pressure at all this season. Even if he took us down, it would be nice to have a bit of stability at the club and have him, if the worst does happen, which, we don't think it is at the moment, but things change very quickly. He's not responsible for bringing on, he's just a coach now. We've moved to a very kind of foreign Spanish, French, Italian type football model where he's just a coach, coaching whoever is brought in for him. He's not, although saying that, he has brought in a few players that he knows. Wilson Isidore, Lafay, he obviously has input in that. Yeah. But if the worst does happen and we do struggle this season and we do go down, I would still like to be this time next year starting the championship with Régis Lebris in there. I don't think he's got so much in the bank at the moment that I can't see how bad this season could go for him to get sacked at the moment. But saying that,
even though we have spent close to 200 million, though, Dermot, as well. Do you think that's kind of like saying okay?
But it's out of the coach's hands nowadays, isn't it? That's the recruitment team. That's a fair point. Yeah, we have spent 200 million, and if we lose the next 6 and we're struggling for a win and we just don't know where the win's coming from, then maybe there will be a bit of pressure, and maybe people will be talking about changing the manager, or he's lost the dressing room, but at the moment, I can't see that happening. I think
it's football at the minute, though, isn't it? I mean, that's the way it is.
It can change very quick, can't it?
Exactly. And, I don't want to say it, but we might have got too good a start. You never, I don't think anybody expected us to come out of the blocks the way we have. So, we've set the bar quite high. We all 3 of us know how fickle Sunderland fans can be. But I would go on to say, just on the point you made about the people that they brought in, credit to all of the coaching or the scouting staff and the people who are out there looking for the talent. From what I've seen so far, they've done an absolutely fantastic job. And I just think the whole club has a different feel about it. Probably I've been watching since '72, and never in my lifetime. I think the only time twice, I think, Peter Reid days and when Quinn was there, have I felt as excited about games. Games coming up. You always want to watch the games, but the whole feel around the club is just different. And I've never felt like this before. And long may it continue. And as long as we, winning games, it'll stay like that. It'll be interesting to see what does happen should we hit a bad spell. And the atmosphere at the home games, the last 2 home games, has been absolutely phenomenal. And I said, I don't know, you probably remember me whinging on last year, Lee, about the crowd, how flat things were, and how that reads through to the players. The opposite effect, when we're up there and we're doing well, the noise that's come out of the stadium the last 2 home games in the league has just been phenomenal, and that's worth points to us all the way through the season if we can keep that up.
Yeah, and no, Dermot, I think as well you mentioned before, like there will be bumps in the road, evidently, but I think also you got to look at the fact that we brought in pretty much a whole new starting 11, apart from 2 or 3 players. And also the coaching staff as well, because Regis has got a new number 2. I think it's the Italian bloke, and he's got some coaches in there as well. One of them's Spanish. We've got a new sporting director, a new football director of football. So it's going to take time, isn't it, to gel?
Well, you would think so, yeah, but it doesn't seem to be. They seem to have bought real quality, and there's still 3 or 4 or 5 players there on the bench that we haven't seen yet. There'll be a few duds. I'm sure there'll be a few duds out of that, and maybe it's that Dutch fella whose name we can't pronounce. Hopefully it's him. Hopefully he's a dud, and we'll never have to, because I still can't remember what his name is. Where's he play? I don't even know where if he's coming on. Where's he going to be playing today?
Centre back or right back, apparently.
Right. Well, it's amazing what's the turnaround has been amazing. They've built such a big squad, and as you say, backroom staff as well. And and I think the only thing I was going to say from before that Robin said as well, nobody expected us to come out of the traps like this. I think you're right. Nobody did, not even ourselves. But we were very lucky as well with the fixture list. And even now, it would be great to get a point today, even 3. It would be amazing, and just keep picking up points and keep. We've got a Villa team in a bit of trouble coming next, and at home next week. I mean, if we got something today, would be well on the way to getting the points on the board that we need for when these troubled times do come, because they will lose 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games on the trot, and then there will be doubts, and people will question Regis Lebris. And but yeah, we'll see what happens. It's as Robin says, it's very exciting, and we all want to watch the games, and we're all up for it. And I'm excited to see what happens today.
All right, Robin. So the Palace team is today Dean Henderson in goal. Looks like they're playing like a 3-4-2-1 formation with Chris Richards on the right-hand side of the fence, Lacroix in the middle, Gehi on the left, and they got Munoz, Lerma, Will Hughes, and Mitchell, Kamada, Pino just behind Mateta. So 3-4-2-1 against our 4-3-3, as we kind of say, or 4-3-2-1 that we play. Where do you think we can hurt Palace?
I think hitting them on the break, like I said before, I think we'll sit and hold, we'll retain possession, and then with Isidore up front, Ronaldo, he can bomb down that left wing. Hume's been getting down the right wing, and the 2 wingers, Adringa. I think we've hit those. There's more to him, more than we've seen. Talby played the last game. I don't think he did he?
No, he got. He did play the game last game. Yeah,
it
was a dinger that got dropped for Lafine.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So, I'm struggling to, but I think we'll just hitting them on the break is going to be the way we do it. So possession up. I think they will come at us more than what the stats suggest that they have done in previous games. So I think we'll sit and hold them and hit them on the break.
Yeah, Dermot, what do you think our weak points are? Where could Crystal Palace punish us, do you reckon?
We're not creating a lot of chances out here. I don't understand this expected goals malarkey, whatever that is. But someone can explain it. But we're not creating chances. We're not getting the ball into the box. I remember I was watching that last game against Brentford, and it wasn't a bad half. And then the halftime stats came on, and it said, I think this is a good stat. Touches in the box was like 4 touches each. Both, it wasn't a bad first half. Both teams had chances. We touched the ball in the box 4 times. So, you know, we're not creating a lot of chances. The chances we've created, put away, that'll dry up. I think now where we have scored a lot of goals and where we have looked dangerous are decent crosses into the box from all over the pitch, not just from the wingers, but Alderete can swing a ball into the box quite well. You know, I don't know if is Wilson Idor, is he our best player in the air? I'm not sure about that. I think Mayenda's probably stronger in the air. I think would miss Dan Ballard as well with that aerial threat. Can we get them in? Can we get decent ball?
Oh, Dermot's been cut off. He sounded like a transformer again. But he made a good point there, Robin, didn't he? About 3 of our goals this season, I think, have come from headers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which, you know, it's kind of unheard of, and for once we actually we've looked dangerous from set pieces as well, particularly corners. I know Ballard's out, but you know, we seem to be early on hitting balls to the back post, and he was getting onto a lot of them. I'm not sure whether that's going to, you know, happen again today, but we've now got a set piece coach as well. So maybe that's having some influence. But we certainly looked a lot better pinging balls in from the wings. You know, back to the old Peter Reid teams. You know, you had Summerby and Johnson bombing down either wing, pinging balls into the box, and people getting on the end. And the only difference is we're not playing 2 down the middle.
All right. No, Dermot, we're just talking there about the goals that we scored so far. I mean, we obviously had the ball in from Alderete from Mayenda's goal at West Ham, the ball in from Adingra for Ballard's goal, and obviously the Xhaka cross for Isidore. That could be crucial, isn't it, to our goals tally this season? I think getting more goals from headers and taking advantage of set pieces. As Robin said, we've got a new set piece coach.
Yeah, no, I think we've got to start finding other ways as well. I mean, that's all we work, and said before, you know, getting goals in the air. But it'd be nice to see Wilson Idor be thread through a few times, a few nice balls for him to get on the end of. I think he's better with the ball at his feet, coming in from the left or finding little pockets, little holes in the air. And so nice to see us kind of expand a little bit on that, and not just you know, be throwing some balls into the box, because we'll quickly get worked out if that's our only like tactic to score. So yeah, a bit of a question mark over our, you know, ability to create good chances. We haven't created too many chances, but I think we've got a couple of games coming where we can change that, and we've got plenty of players who can affect games in different ways. I'm just about to sneeze, I think. So, there you go. Sorry.
It might sound better than your bloody connection, Dermot, because you're breaking up again. I always have bother you, man. You're getting that cheap internet in Spain.
I've got orange French cheap French internet in Spain. There you go. Terrible combination. Doesn't work very well.
Robin, final thing then before we get your predictions. Are you happy with our squad after the transfer window? Do you think we're covered in every position?
Well, we're certainly a lot stronger than I thought we were going to be. You know, if you'd asked me after the playoff win, did I think we'd have done this level of business in the transfer window? Never in my wildest dreams did I think we'd have done it. And I think, you know, we have got strength more or less right through the team. If you went through position by position, you've got a couple of decent players in each of the positions, and some of them probably 3 or 4. So yeah, you could always, you know, you always could have a stronger squad, I think. but I think there's certainly the recruitment team have set us up to compete. I said at the start of the season I'd be happy if we finished top of the bottom four. That was my goal before the transfer window. I'd have been happy with it. Haven't seen the way we've started, I'd still be happy with it, but I think we better than that. So I think we have got a strong enough squad to compete, and I'm happy.
Dermot, I would say about our squad is that we've got a lot of versatile players that can play all over the shop. So I think whereas we might not have a direct replacement for every position, we have got players who can play several positions.
Yeah. You got Luke O'Nien, who'll be coming back in a couple of weeks' time, and he'll be starting a game somewhere on the left or the right or in the centre, or So as I said before about Mayenda and Isidore, they're not number 9s. They're not. I think they've got chances to play on the left and the right. You got Chris Rigg who can come in and play anywhere across the midfield on the wing. There's versatility, and there's a reserve there for every position, which is what you need. And they haven't built a team; they've built a squad. So and that squad will, there'll be suspensions, there'll be injuries, we'll start losing games, and you want to change it around, and everyone will get a chance. I think it's a shame that some of the players from last season haven't been playing. It's amazing that we've completely changed the full team almost. But there'll be. I'm sure there'll be chances for Dan Neil, for Chris Rigg, for the goalkeeper to come in. For Luke O'Nien, somewhere along the line, will be getting games. And some of these other fellas who we haven't even seen yet, who've been brought in as well. So continue. We've got a good squad, and let's see. All
right. Before you kind of like break up like a transformer again, give us your prediction.
I'd like a draw. I mean, I think that's as much as we can ask for today. I think that'll be a good, positive result going into Aston Villa at home next week. Get a draw 1-1.
Get a draw 1-1. All right, Robin.
I think it's probably got draw written over it, but I'm going 2-1 win.
2-1 win.
I'm
going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Yep.
That's what I'm going to go for. Anyway, listen, it's 25 minutes to kick off. Dermot's going to have his sandwich. I'm going to go to the shop and buy some beers. Robin's already got them in. So listen, enjoy the match, lads. We'll speak soon. And how are the lads?
Enjoy it.
How are the lads?